Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to say it one more time. Good afternoon, everyone. Amen. Welcome to this, another segment of the annual forum sponsored by the American Friends Services Committee, the Southern Christian Leadership Conference of Greater Kansas City, hosted by the Metropolitan Missionary Baptist Church, where the Reverend Dr. Wallace S. Hartsfield II is the senior pastor, and where Dr. Wallace Hartsfield I is pastor emeritus. We are thankful and grateful to be able to be hosted by Metropolitan Baptist Church once again this year, and so thankful that so many of you have come out today for this, our annual forum, for another outstanding event in 2016. I just think that you ought to give yourselves a hand for being here today. We're glad that you came out for this wonderful event. Those of us who are over by the tables, we want to thank God for you. And if you could, as quickly as possible, finish your business there so that we can have focus as we move forward today. There are some very valuable tables that are set up for our forum on today. We encourage everyone to be sure and visit those tables. There are SCLC t-shirts. There is Buy Black Empowerment Initiative information and data. We will also, going forward, be having voter registration opportunities today. And so we're thankful for all these opportunities that we have for the community to engage in issues that are prevalent and that are impacting our people from day to day. We want to start off by acknowledging those persons who are sponsors and tablers for us. We mentioned a couple of them, and we will mention them now again. They are the Ad Hoc Group Against Crime, the Cross Border Network, Empower Missouri, the Kansas City Black United Front, Missourians for Alternatives to the Death Penalty, Stand Up KC, One Struggle KC, and Peace Works KC. With all that power in Kansas City, we know a change is coming, don't we? Give a hand for all of these who are here today. We are especially excited today to be able to bring to you a topic of conversation that is critical to our community and critical to the nation at large. Our theme today, Moving the Money, Concrete Steps for Economic Justice for All People. We know that in 1968, when Dr. King was assassinated, he was on the balcony of the Lorraine Motel, and he was amid joining in and in solidarity with a movement of sanitation workers who were actually advocating for their own economic justice, for better pay, for better working rights, and for the ability to organize themselves to leverage for greater benefits as working people in that community. That was a microcosm of the larger issue in America, which Dr. King had been addressing, which challenged this nation to begin to divert so much money, move the money, so much money from war and weapons of war, and divert it to deal with the very human realities and suffering of people in urban areas, rural areas across the nation in 1968. It was this effort and this focus which made Dr. King more and more, shall we say, vulnerable and more at risk in his prophetic witness here in America, to the point where the powers that be thought it best for their own protected privilege to silence him. In 2015, the Southern Christian Leadership Conference of Greater Kansas City thought it best and wise for us to ask the question, where is the Poor People's Campaign that Dr. King and Dr. Abernathy and many visionaries, men and women, began near the time that he was assassinated? And we have done our best over the last 2 years to answer that question and to be the change that we seek. Today, we continue that effort as we align with the American Friends Services Committee, and we now have this forum titled Move the Money. Somebody say, move the money. Now look at a neighbor and say, move the money. Now tell somebody, you look like you need some money moved. It is a serious matter. And it is so serious because there is such injury being done to the working poor, and such injury being done by those or to those that do not have equal access and opportunity to the fruits and benefits of American life, especially those who are making great efforts to do so. And so we are welcoming today some of the best and brightest and finest and most committed of Kansas City, across gender, across race, across industry. We have academia here, we have organizers here, we have students here, we have theologians and philosophers here, we have community organizers here, faith-based people here, all who will witness today to the work that they are doing in their own venues and contexts. And so we're going to allow each of them to come for about 10 minutes each. After they come for 10 minutes each, we'll allow this to be an authentic forum and conversation where you will have the opportunity to both ask questions, comment, and reflect together on this issue of moving the money. To my far left, a theologian, an instructor, a professor, an academic administrator who has shown and demonstrated her prophetic edge since her appearance in Kansas City many years ago, and who now works at the St. Paul School of Theology as Dean of Academic Programs and Associate Professor of Ethics and Black Church Studies. We speak of none other than on my far left, introducing Dr. Angela Sims. Won't you welcome her with a hand clap? To her right is none other than Laura McDonald, one of the most committed community organizers and faith-based leaders in this community. Currently, the position she holds is Executive Director of More Square. She'll tell you more about what that acronym is about. She is feisty, she is dedicated, she is committed, and she is organizing faith communities to help move the money. Welcome Laura McDonald to us today. One of the criticisms of traditional civil rights organizations is that we have not bridged the gap between the older generation and the not so old. I am almost years old, and I view myself as a bridge builder who fills in the gap. I am not in my latter days, but nor am I in my former days. And I believe that SCLC is out to cast a vision to bridge the gap between that generation that came before us, which has pioneered and treaded the way, and that generation of upstart activists who be shutting down university campuses all around the state of Missouri. There is a new generation rising up, and we have one who is a reflection of that. Her name is Kelsey Burris. She is the president of the Rockhurst University Black Student Union and a producer at Cascade Media Group. Welcome, Kelsey Burris. Now, how could a moderator forget a group that has been perhaps arguably the most protesting and demonstrating group for $15 an hour and a union in Kansas City for a long, long time now. And to my direct left, one of the most committed of those is my brother and our friend Richard Eicher. He is a fast food leader for Stand Up KC. Welcome him in a hearty way. And then on the end, to my far right, is the man that usually moderates this panel. But because the American Friends Services Committee has engaged in a new vision and program to begin to cast a vision for moving the money, a program from which we take our forum title today, he is today one of our panelists who will be talking about his work, the work of moving the money with the American Friends Services Committee. A hearty welcome for our friend and brother, always committed, KC Program Coordinator for American Friends Services Committee, my brother Ira Herod. Thank you, Ira, for being here today. To no further ado, we will ask in the order from my far left to my far right if Dr. Sims would come and take your 10 minutes, and then after her, each of these persons will come, and then we will open up our dialogue.